Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Chapter 18, Carter and McGoldrick, Families in Later Life. Um, I I enjoyed reading about it. I actually had to take a gerontology class in my undergrad, and so we really learned and studied about the family life cycle in later life. And I don't know. One of the things that really struck a chord with me was the section on widowhood. My dad's actually a widow, where my mom passed away when I was in high school, and she was 56, so I would consider that, later in life, and my dad was only a couple of years younger than her, so he kind of was stuck in the launching stage slash adolescent because my sister was 18 or no 17 and I was 16 when it happened, and then he was in his early 50s, and he was getting close to retirement. But anyway, I you know I, I guess the thing that really struck me was about that section was how adult children are sometimes shocked about remarriage with their parents, especially thinking that the parent the new spouse could be a gold digger, and also just thinking about their parents having sex in old age, which I mean, sex, even though it's everywhere in the media, talking about sex with older adults is still kind of taboo. But when I took this gerontology class in undergrad, to go back to that, I had to meet with this elder every single week for like 2.5 hours for like 10 or 12 weeks. So I got to know this lady pretty well. And one of the things that I learned about her was that even though she was like 74, I think, that she still had an active sex life. And I can say that that was not one of the things that I really cared to know about her, but at the same time, it reminded me that she's still a person, who still, has needs, desires, wants to be sexual, yada yada yada. Um, and that doesn't necessarily go away when you're old. There might be some challenges. It might be more difficult, but um, so anyway, that just reminded me of that, and that you know I thought of her as this sweet little old lady, and it turned out, that even though she was really nice, she had accomplished all these other things in her life, being a teacher, an educator. She was from the Miami area. So she talked a lot about the Latin culture, that she got to experience down there. And then here she tells me about this other side of her life. I thought, well, Granny's probably not had sex in like 20 years, but she was meeting up with her old college boyfriend who was still married at the time, which was kind of strange. Also, I had to remind myself not to let my morals, get mixed into my responses because, I wasn't with a Christian institution, or, our relationship, that didn't have any part of it. So I needed to make sure that I kept that separate. But, another section I love reading about was the grandparenthood. My dad is a grandparent now, so I just love seeing him interact with my daughter, and he actually moved up here to stay with me and my husband to take care of my daughter while I finished graduate school and did an internship, and that's been a huge blessing in my life. And I really appreciate him for it. But I just love seeing them play together and interact together, and I just love how Emily is so close to him, and the fact that she is getting to know him and become attached. I just know with my parents being older, having me, I knew that there could be the possibility that they might not know their grandparents. My mom died when I was young, and having my dad left, I really wanted to make sure that that was an important part. So my dad gave up a lot. Um, so, I guess that's about all I have to say about this section. Thanks for listening.